Hello, all my dear learners. How are you? I hope you all are safe and fine at your places. Today, we're going to learn another thing, that is what are the physiological factors which affect endurance. So, welcome to physical education class. Welcome to physical education class. This is part 2. Right? In this chapter, what we're going to do, we are going to learn a new topic today. So, what is the name of this unit? As you all know, that the unit is 7. Right? And the name of this unit is Physiology. Injuries in a sport. Right? So today we are going to deal with the topic called physiological factors which affect endurance. It means what are the physiological factors we need to keep in mind when we enhancing our endurance. Right? So let's write the topic in your notebooks. Physiological factors affect endurance. Before we going to start this topic, you must know what is endurance and what are the types of endurance. You must heard and you must aware about football. You must aware about long distance running. You must have participated in various skating competition. You must have participated in marathon. You must have participated in cyclothlon and various kind of exercise, which is of long duration. So long duration means endurance is related to the long duration activities. Long duration and sometimes short duration. So whenever we participate in 50-meter dash, whenever we participate in a long distance running like marathon, cycling, etc., we need some kind of endurance. So what is endurance basically? This is a very important thing that we need to keep in mind till last chapter, and each and every chapter this point will come. So please keep in mind. Endurance is the ability to overcome fatigue. Right? So what is endurance? Endurance is the ability to overcome fatigue. Endurance are of two types. First is aerobic endurance. Right? Aerobic endurance, it means there is a presence of oxygen. Right? So aerobic endurance, and second is anaerobic endurance. Anaerobic endurance. So anaerobic means there is an absence of oxygen. So now I'm gonna tell you what is exactly the aerobic endurance and what is exactly the anaerobic endurance. When I'm saying it is anaerobic, so it is a short-term endurance. Okay, it is also called muscular endurance. Anaerobic is also called short-term endurance and it is also called muscular endurance, right? So short-term endurance or anaerobic endurance or muscular endurance, both three are same. So this component of endurance is helpful to perform activities of a longer duration with faster speed. So if you perform a longer duration activity but the intensity is fast, it is and anaerobic endurance. This is the endurance where the anaerobic type of activity is done when the intensity or speed is very fast, right? This endurance is for shorter duration, that's why it is called a muscular endurance. In the absence of oxygen, it will take place. So what does it use? It uses the with the help of the energy in the muscle called glycogen. So when we take a lot of carbohydrate, so this extra carbohydrate is deposited in our body and it forms glycogen. So when we do anaerobic exercise, this glycogen from the muscle get the energy. It produces a lot of fatigue, lot of tiredness, and it leads to oxygen depth too. It is required for almost all kind of games in sport. Tennis, badminton, handball, basketball, volleyball, middle distance races, swimming, etc. Got it? So, first thing is anaerobic endurance that we have studied. Now I am telling you aerobic endurance. Whenever I am saying about anaerobic, that is the aerobic endurance. Aerobic means it is a long distance running, okay, and it is cardiovascular, right? So when I am telling about aerobic endurance, this endurance is helpful for the activity for the longer duration when the intensity is low. In fact, it is the combination of respiratory system and circulatory system, right? And continuous energy and workout is going on. So it is when the speed is low, it delay fatigue and require a long distance runner like road cycling, cross country, marathon, football, etc. So basically we have clear that this anaerobic, right? When we talk about this anaerobic, so it is also called short term. It is also called short term or muscular. When I am talking about aerobic, so it is long term. Cardiovascular. Right? So this aerobic is required for long, that means the duration is long, like road cycling, like marathon, etc. If when aerobic it means it is the presence of oxygen. Presence of oxygen. If we talk about anaerobic, it means absence of oxygen. Absence of oxygen. Whenever we talk about anaerobic, it means there is absence of oxygen. So why it is called muscular? Because the muscles will use the stored glycogen. So energy source is glycogen. It is short-term endurance, so like if I am taking the example of 50-meter dash, etc. And if I am talking about cardiovascular, so football is also example. Almost all the games require this anaerobic short-term muscular endurance. In the same way, aerobic cardiovascular long-term endurance. I hope this much part is clear to everyone. It is very important to know, otherwise you will not get the concepts, right? So basically we get started with endurance, which is basically of two types, that is long-term endurance or short-term endurance. It is the ability to overcome fatigue. It is the ability to delay fatigue. It is of two types, aerobic and anaerobic. When I am telling about aerobic endurance, which is also called cardiovascular endurance, in fact, it is a combination of circulatory system, it means cardio plus respiratory. Okay, and it is also a long-term activity. When I am talking about anaerobic endurance, so it is absence of oxygen, short-term like 50-meter dash, and it is called muscular endurance. Why muscular endurance? Because the energy which is using here is the glycogen. Why does glycogen? Why glycogen? Because when we take in hand a lot of that is the carbohydrate. These carbohydrates deposited in our body in the form of glycogen. So you will use on that particular time, right? Now let's move on the next thing. It means the topic that we needed to cover today, and the name of the topic is what are the physiological factors determining the endurance. So let me wrap it, and then we'll move on these concepts. So the topic is what are the physiological factors. So it is psychological methodology. Physiological factors determine endurance. Let's come on, let's learn. So one by one we are going to learn, right? So the very first thing that we needed to know is muscle covering, right? It means if I am talking about this, basically when I started to talk about the endurance, right? So we'll have to see that. See, it's sometimes it's a short-term endurance, it's a long-term endurance, and it is related to the cardiac output, or it is related to the what we can say is the respiratory system, right? So very first thing is maximum oxygen uptake, right? Maximum oxygen uptake. What does it? So it is basically, when I am talking about this endurance, so it is basically based on the how much oxygen an individual can consume, right? So maximum oxygen uptake, that is VO2. What is it? VO2 that we have measured. So how much oxygen an individual can consume, right? Because see, when you are doing a short-term activity or you are doing a long-term activity, so your maximum oxygen intake should be very good. So it's referred that the highest rate in which oxygen can be consumed, right? So it is very important that the individual should have a maximum oxygen uptake, right? So what is maximum oxygen uptake? If I say maximum oxygen uptake, that is VO2 max, volume of oxygen inhaled maximum, refers to the highest rate in which oxygen can be taken up and consumed by the body when during intensive workout or exercise. These enable oxygen utilization and improve the mitochondrial things. Got it? So mitochondria will also provide energy. Okay. So next thing that we are going to cover now, the next point, like this, what? Pulmonary diffusion, right? So when we talk about pulmonary diffusion, it means definitely it's the exchange of gases, right? What is pulmonary diffusion? The next point is pulmonary diffusion. When I am talking about pulmonary diffusion, so it is the oxygen inhaled. See, from our nostril we inhale oxygen. Let's sit properly, we keep your backbone straight and inhale. When we inhale oxygen from our nostril, it goes in our lungs to the alveoli, to the alveolus, to the bronchus, right? Goes to that, it mixes with the blood vessels. But so this oxygen mixed with the blood vessels, when we release the carbon dioxide, so the oxygen goes inside and the carbon dioxide come out. In this way, I want to tell you that the pulmonary diffusion is very good. Okay, so that the oxygen goes much and carbon dioxide at the same way come out. So that what we can understood here, that pulmonary diffusion is very important. The diffusion can improve if the diffusion is good. It means if the pulmonary diffusion is good, definitely what will happen, that next thing, that is the your endurance will definitely improve, right? So next is cardiac output. right? So what is cardiac output? If I say it is the ability of our heart to pump out blood in 1 minute. Okay, what is cardiac output? The third thing, cardiac output. Cardiac output. What is it? It is the ability to pump. This is very important thing to know. It is the ability to pump blood in 1 minute. Right? Cardiac output. Which muscles are there on heart? Cardiac muscles are there. Which muscles are there on heart? There are cardiac muscles of the heart, and these muscles are called cardiac muscles. They produce the sound of lub-dub. And cardiac output, if the cardiac output is very good, the circulation of the blood will be good, the working of tissue will be good. So we can say that it enhances the functioning of heart, and definitely the cardiac output will enhance your endurance. Let's talk on the next point, that is aerobic capacity. So what is aerobic capacity? It is the capacity of an individual to do work for a longer duration with the slow speed. It's the ability to improve the regular exercise. So fourth point is aerobic endurance. What is the fourth point? Aerobic endurance. And aerobic capacity you can write. Aerobic capacity. What is aerobic capacity? Aerobic capacity, basically when the word is aerobic, it means there is the presence of oxygen. Aerobic means it is cardiovascular. Aerobic means it is a long term. So it is a capacity. What is aerobic capacity? It is the ability to do work for longer duration it is a capacity to do work for a longer duration with slow speed. Aerobic capacity. So when we are playing football, when we are playing hockey, when we are doing cycling, when we are doing cross country running, when we are doing marathon, we require a good amount of aerobic capacity. We are learning what are the physiological factors which determine strength. There is endurance. So your endurance should depend upon how much maximum output oxygen uptake you have, what is your pulmonary diffusion rate, what is your cardiac output, it means in a minute how much blood is pumped out, what is your aerobic capacity, right? So these are some points that you really need to know before you want to measure what are the physiological factors which is definitely help you to understand that how much endurance you have and what is your range, right? Lactate threshold, right? LACTAT, lactate threshold. Now what is it? It is the ability to tolerate the lactic acid in blood. See what happened? It produced during the anaerobic activity. When there is an anaerobic activity, the lactic acid started deposit into the bloodstream. Okay, better lactate threshold delay the fatigue and tiredness. Thus endurance will improve. So lactate threshold is very important. What? Lactate threshold. Fifth point is the lactate threshold. Lactate threshold. Okay, when I am talking about lactate threshold, what is it? It is the ability. What is lactate threshold? Ability to tolerate the lactic acid into bloodstream, into blood, right? That is called the lactate threshold. This is clear. See, when the body is able to tolerate, if your threshold is very good, your body will be able to tolerate lactic acid to mix it with the blood. Thus, when this thing happens, so what happens? There will not be any problem. What will happen? There will not be any problem with your endurance, and your endurance will enhance. What will happen? Your endurance will enhance. Definitely your endurance will be enhanced. Blood volume and their flow. If we talk about the next point, so the sixth point that I am going to tell you, blood volume and flow. Endurance activity needs sufficient amount of oxygen, and it required nutrients which are transported to the blood or by the blood. So regular training increase the hemoglobin in the blood, that is our red blood cell, increase the blood plasma, which endurance is boosted, right? So blood plasma should be there, RBC should be there. So blood volume and its flow is very important. 6 point what? Blood flow. Blood flow and transportation of nutrients. Transportation of nutrients. When I am talking about the blood flow and the transportation of nutrients, very first thing is our body, our blood. You can see whenever we do a long-term exercise or whenever we do exercise which requires a lot of endurance, so it's required some nutrients during that exercise, and which can be just done with this flow of blood. Okay, our body required a good amount of plasma, our body required a good amount of RBCs, that is the red blood cell. Okay, so these things are very important. So lactic threshold, you understand what is the blood flow. So during while doing this exercise, blood flow is a very important task. Let me bring one chalk. So it's very important to go ahead with good blood flow. When the blood flow is good, definitely this red blood cell and blood plasma helps to enhance the endurance, and it will definitely boost the endurance. Next thing if we talk about is red muscle fibers. Okay, red muscle fiber is also called slow twitch muscle fibers. These red muscle fibers carry more oxygen. Thus, when the oxygen is more, aerobic endurance will improve, and definitely there will be good endurance. Red blood, so it's a point to note, red muscle fiber is also called soft twitch muscle fiber, right? So let me write the seventh formula or 7th point. Red muscle fiber. What I called it? Red muscle fiber I called slow twitch muscle fiber. This is the MCQ question to check. So do it well. Red muscle fiber, which is also called slow twitch muscle fiber. Okay, and this red muscle fiber, what will do? They carry more oxygen. What will they carry? They carry more oxygen. It means when it carries more oxygen, aerobic endurance will improve. Aerobic endurance improve. Thus, it is very important to have a red muscle fibers in the body. Okay, so red muscle fiber are called what? This is called soft twitch muscle fibers, right? Now the last point, if we talk about, that is the 8 point are sufficient, I think. Last point is hydration. Endurance activity can have severe it's lead sweating or it loss of important minerals, nutrients. So sufficient amount of water, sufficient amount of liquid is very important, right? So if we talk about the next thing, I will write it here, hydration. Hydration is very important, right? So whenever we do our endurance activity, right? So while doing endurance activity, we lose sweating is there. Some first thing, sweating is there, right? After sweating, there will be a lot of loss of minerals, vitamins from the body. So we need water. Proper or sufficient water. Sufficient water is required if we really want good endurance, right? So I hope this part is clear to everyone that what I want to tell you guys exactly. First thing is maximum oxygen uptake, which is very important for improving endurance. Second is pulmonary efficient, the exchange of gases, which is also very important. Cardiac output, it means what is the ability to pump out blood in 1 minute. Next is aerobic capacity, which is the capacity, for the longer duration for when the oxygen demand is more. Lactic threshold, it means lactic acid deposited in blood, so that blood flow is very important for the transportation of nutrients, RBC, which are rich in taking oxygen. Red muscle fibers, which is also called slow twitch muscle fiber, 1 marks MCQ question, please note. And more oxygen will be there, more aerobic fitness will be there, aerobic endurance will be good. So these are the bonds which determine, which helps us to understand exactly what are the physiological factors which determine the endurance of an individual. Now next thing, now let's finish with this. So as we have finished with this, now let's talk about strength. Okay, so that we can cover that part too. Strength. Now we are going to talk about strength. So let me wrap it. Okay, I hope you guys are done with it. Please note if you have not done. I'm gonna write it again. Please note it. Okay. So I'm just giving you a second to note it. Right. Just note it in a while. Now let's. Okay, fine. So let's start the next thing. And the next thing definitely belongs to strength. So I hope you all are aware about strength. As we had done it previously, even you have started in grade 11 about strength. Let me give you one quick review about strength. Okay, then we will be talking about the points of strength. What is strength? Strength is the ability to overcome resistance, right? Ability to overcome resistance. First thing noted everyone, what are the type of strength or what is the strength exactly, what are the example? If you are pushing a wall, there is a strength. If you are weighing a particular weight, there is a strength. So strength is basically of 3 types, right? Static strength, and the second one is dynamic strength. Dynamic strength. Alright. When you talk about static strength, it means things when you do this strength, when you like if I am standing and pushing this board, it is static strength. So things which is in rest. When the thing is in motion, we call it dynamic strength, which is of basically 3 types. First is maximal strength. It means the maximum amount of force your body or muscles can exert. Maximal strength. Next is strength endurance. Strength endurance. At this time, the exercise which comprises of strength as well as endurance. Next is explosive, last third type, explosive strength. Alright, so when I am talking about explosive strength is basically what? Which measure the explosive strength of a human, like when you are doing standing broad jump. So at a particular place you will have to jump and you will have to cover a particular distance. So with this, the leg muscles, the strength of leg muscles, the muscles like hamstring, quadricep, and calf muscles. This can be the strength of leg muscles can be measured. I hope this part is clear, right? What is the strength exactly, and what is the ability to that I am telling you exactly about, right? Now what we are going to do, we are going to learn the things exactly, which is very very important. this strength and all to be known, to be understood. It's very important nowadays because these are the questions which definitely come in our exam and we'll have to do rock with it. Okay, so let me just bring one chalk and we'll be going on. First thing is muscle covering. If we talk about strength, right? So the psychological factors determine strength. Right? So let's cover it and let's start. So whenever we talk about strength, right? Whenever we talk about strength, the very first thing coming in my mind is muscle covering. Okay. So when we talk about muscle covering, see, the very first thing that I would like to tell you is the muscles fibers covering cytolema. What are there? Sarcolemma, S-A-R-C-O-L-E-M-M-A. So the muscle fibers covering sarcolemma binds the muscle fiber to work together. So sarcolemma covering should be increased so that the cross section of sarcolemma or the blood flow could be good. Okay. So what I am telling you, muscle fibers, muscle covering with sarcolemma. This is what you keep in mind better. Okay. Muscle covering is done by sarcolemma. Okay. So it binds the muscle fibers, binds the muscle fibers to work together. Right? So sarcolemma is very important to have in our body. Right? Next is white muscle fiber. Second is white muscle fiber. Now again a CBSE NCT question, white muscle fiber is also called fast twitch muscle fiber. And red muscle fibers are also called slow twitch muscle fiber. In the same way, white muscle fibers are also called fast twitch muscle fibers. Got it, everyone? So it's very important to note this. So see now what is the function of this white twitch muscle fiber? So see, white twitch muscle fiber, which is also called fast twitch muscle fiber, right? Having more connective tissue, right? So bring faster and stronger the contraction and everything. So greater the percentage of white muscle fiber, greater the explosive strength. So what does it do? This white muscle fiber consists of more connective tissue. There are more connective tissue. So in exam if you ask कि maximum अगर आपका explosive strength बढ़ाना है तो आपकी body के अंदर क्या होना चाहिए? Fast twitch muscle fiber ज़्यादा होना चाहिए. Your body should have fast twitch muscle fiber more. If we talk about the third point, that is the muscular contraction. Right? What is muscular contraction? Muscular contraction. So there is two things in muscular contraction: concentric and eccentric. See, when I am doing contraction, my muscles are contract. This is eccentric, this is concentric. So it is very important that the muscle should contract properly. So muscular contraction is very important to be known. Muscle length, every muscle of the different size, long muscles having more potential strength as compared to small muscle. Nerve impulses, the intensity of neuromuscular response is also very important, right? So next is muscle length. Okay. So what I'm telling you exactly now, our body has different muscles, small muscles, long muscles, etc. The more the length of the muscle, the more it has intensity to hold the weight. It means the strength. deal with that accordingly. See, it's depend. Your strength can depend on the adequate energy, your age, your gender, right? So, adequate energy. So, as you all know, the body has ATP stored in our body, and ATP, who does it? The organelle called mitochondria. So, mitochondria is also called powerhouse of cell. Just to know, powerhouse of cell, which convert energy into the form of ATP. All students must aware about it because we had started this things in grade 10th or 9th. 9th. So adequate energy is also very important if you want to enhance your strength. Okay. So strength also depends on gender, right? Strength also depends on the age. Right? So if we talk about the girls have less strength as compared to boys, so it's a better strength. Age factor, a boy of 5 years can carry a particular weight and a boy or the next boy which is of 19 years, so he can carry a different amount of weight, right? So strength is basically depends on muscle covering, it depends on the muscle fibers, it depends on muscular contraction, muscle length, neuromuscular coordination, gender, age. Now very important thing, myoglobin. Myoglobin is a type of protein which is present in our muscles. It stores oxygen which produce energy during emergency. Myoglobin is very, very important to write it down. Myoglobin. Myoglobin is what? It is a kind of protein. It is a kind of protein which is present in our muscles. So myoglobin is very important, it is present in our muscles, right? It is very, very important thing that gives energy to our body in emergencies. 10th point is body weight. Body weight also decides strength. If you are about short put, the body weight should be more. So this is all about what this physiology about how to enhance this. So today we have done with what are the physiological factors on which the strength depend and what are the physiological factors on which the endurance depend. I hope this part is much clearer to you. So there is a lot of love and blessings to every one of you, right? Go through this 2 or 3 questions because in exam the CBSE people may ask you about strength, speed, flexibility, coordinative ability and endurance. These is the very important topic, very important part, and these are all 5 marks. Right? Okay, alright. So with this, take care. Bye bye. Lots of love and blessings to everyone. Okay? So go through this, well planned it, do it well so that you can understand things properly and everything will be smooth and fine. Right? So you go through it, like if we talk about does physiological factor which determine strength or endurance, so you can go through it properly. If we talk about strength, as you can see on the board, that muscle covering, that is the sarcolemma. Okay, so sarcolemma, what will do? Sarcolemma will simply bind the muscle fibers. So it's very important. White muscle fiber we also call this fast twitch muscle fibers. This fast twitch muscle fiber have a connective tissue, so it is very good. Okay, so it will bind the muscles and it will be very good for our body. Muscular contraction, so muscular contraction, this is contraction or eccentric things. Muscular length, so our body has long muscles, small muscles, again very important. Myoglobin, if I talk, so it's a kind of protein which is present in the muscles and it provides us energy during emergency. Okay, body strength or body weight, so strength depend upon the body weight of an individual. Definitely if the body weight is more, the strength is definitely more. Adequate energy, so it's so clear that the body should need the good amount of energy so that the ATP and mitochondrial energy will be enhanced and used. It's depend of gender, like female has less strength but female have more flexibility, right? In the same way, it depends on the age and neuromuscular coordination, the signal and everything, right? So I hope this session is fruitful for you. With this, take care. Bye bye, bache.